enter for free at itv.com. Entrance must be 18 or over, and all lines close at 1:20. Right, best of luck with that. Now, the widow of murdered Gary Newlove last night called for a return of the death penalty after the gang who beat her husband to death in an unprovoked attack received life sentences. As they were jailed, she said, and we quote, "They forfeited their rights to society when they kicked Gary to death. If this country still had the gallows, I'd be happy to sit back and watch as they were strung up. If we had the electric chair, like in America, I'd watch them fry without the slightest feeling of sympathy. I wouldn't hesitate. It's an eye for an eye in my book." Obviously, our hearts go out to her at this awful time, but what do you think of those sentiments, Colleen?
Well, I think gut reaction, and when I read that story, I'm totally with her on that. You know, I do think, you know, my initial reaction, especially the way things are going in today's society, I do think, you know, bring back corporal punishment, and why should they have the opportunity of having any kind of life when they've taken someone else's? You know, they should lose human rights, they should lose everything. You know, if you take someone's life, you deserve not to live. So my gut reaction was, yes, absolutely. And I know if it was part of, or one of my family that had been killed, I would feel exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Carol?
Yeah. I can completely understand how she feels and why she said that, but personally, myself, I don't believe in an eye for an eye, because I don't think by someone committing a crime like that, and the way they did it was absolutely hideous, and I think, you know, I would really quite like something horrible to happen to those thugs, but I don't want to have anything to do with it, because in a way I think if you live in a society that condones killing in any kind of sense, I think it kind of makes you just as bad as them, and I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like the idea of it. So, you know, personally, I think
if it was
that
your brother or sister, you wouldn't be comfortable. You still wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Brother or sister back, though, does it?
No,
That's
it wouldn't change
premeditated
anything.
murder.
And it wouldn't make me feel any better to know that they were dead too. It wouldn't, because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I've lost something and I can never get it back. That's not going to change anything at all. And that's why I don't like it.
No, and I'm with Carol. I think the thing about murder, it's horrific, and I can't, you know, the gut reaction is everything that you've said. At the end of the day, though, the electric chair or hanging or all these things are premeditated. These kids they need bad jail. They need long jail sentences. They need
life needs to
hard
be life.
labour. Life needs to be life. But if you murder them, they're as bad as the murder. You know, they're drugs and drinks. If you think about it, there are very few actual murderers, real people who set out to murder somebody.
But that's never going to happen. Life will never mean life.
Well,
and
it's
it
up
won't
to
be
us.
long. No,
Colleen,
it's not up to us.
as people it is to insist.
It's up to a government who keep telling us they're letting people out early because there's no rooms in the prison. We can't build more prisons because there's not enough money. So it's never up to us. If it did mean life for life, to me they should be, you know, sitting in a cell with 4 grey walls, a bed and a toilet. That's it. No tellies, nothing. But that's never going to happen.
You're talking about, you know, locking people up for life in the hope that that would be some form of deterrent. But, you know, these 3 boys, or whatever they are, 19, 16 and whatever, one of them could be out in 12 years. You just think 12 years, he's going to be 28 when he gets out. You know, he's still got his life ahead of him. And that absolutely can't be right. Although I don't condone capital punishment, I really don't like the idea of them getting out and having any kind of life. You know, I'd love to see them suffer, but I don't want to have anything to do with it. And also, on the deterrent point, you know, as well as anybody here, you lived in America, it isn't really a deterrent.
No, I don't think it does work as a deterrent, and statistically I'm fairly confident that's sort of backed up in America. But the other thing, especially in California, is you can go through 30 years of court appeals before the death sentence ever actually carried out. And I'm with you, just morally, I just think it's a barbaric thing to sort of have premeditated state murder. I don't really sanction that. And of course you have people who are imprisoned wrongly. And, you know, once miscarriages of justice happen. But I think most people probably would be happy to not have the death penalty if they could have the confidence in the justice system, in the government, that people who committed horrific acts of violence, killing people, were actually punished justifiably. Just does not happen.
Colleen, you're saying we can't do it. Honestly, we are terrible in this country and we've got to start fighting back. We sit and moan
We do start fighting back and we get thrown into prison for it.
No, we don't. We do not make our feelings heard enough. There's a lot of young people out there now who don't even vote. It's your thing. If your life is not safe as a young person, vote, badger your MPs and say, come on, I want a legal system in this country that works.
And this is what people
Honestly,
need to get angry about.
It's up to you lot.
There's no point in getting angry with those thugs because it's it's been done. You can't change anything. No, we need to be angry with the system, the whole system, the system that allows people to get away with murder like that. In the sense that, okay, if he only does 12 years, in my book, he's got away with it. And so, you know, they were smirking in the court, and I mean, just disgusting behaviour, just laughing at justice. And that is the system. It's the government for not enforcing the law.
It is absolutely, but it's not in my psyche to be able. You know, she was saying she would gladly, you know, press the button or give the injection. I don't think I could do that. But if it was my family, I would be quite willing to pay someone else to do it, and I wouldn't feel guilty. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. The only thing against it for me is, with the death penalty, is for me, I think it's an easy way out. I'd want them to sit in prison for 40 years and rot.
Rot, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, proper prison, yeah.
Right, time for us to take a quick break. We'll be back soon. Loose Women Live this Tuesday lunchtime. Before we catch up with one of our favourite comedians, Jo Brand, here's your final opportunity to be in with a chance of winning £3,000. The vegetable eggplant is also known as A, courgette, B, parsnip, or C, aubergine. Call 09012 931 941. Calls cost £1 from BT landlines. Calls from mobiles and other networks may be higher. Text WIN plus your answer, A, B or C, to 63337. Text cost £1 plus one standard network rate reply message. Digital satellite viewers can enter by pressing their red button now, and you can also enter for free at itv.com. Entrance must be 18 or over, and all lines close at 1:20. And remember, the entry lines will close at 1:20, so if you try and enter after then, you may still be charged. And best of luck. OK, now, earlier we were chatting about strange recurring dreams that we had, and we have managed to get them analysed.
No!
Yes, would you like to hear what all your bonkers dreams mean?
Yes!
Colleen's crying in her sleep.
Oh, no.
To wake up crying represents some suppressed hurt or previous trauma that's coming to the surface. You can no longer suppress these emotions. They need to be dealt with head on.
Oh, well, that's, you see, if I win this award, it'll all be over.
It'll all be over.
I'll never cry again.
Vote now! My one about painting the floor of a big giant's castle with him standing over me. The castle signified your need for security and protection, but it was scary, so I don't really think that's right. A giant in your dream signified a great struggle between you and your opponents. The painting of the floor meant you were covering up something.
Oh. Do you know, I've always said it about you.
Linda's dream, falling into a pit of snakes, represents the many worries that were threatening you and your family. To dream of many snakes in a pit is considered to be a foreboding of much bad luck in love or business.
I was right.
To dream that you were being bitten represented your vulnerability regarding unresolved emotions.
Oh. Very good. Well, I've done it now. I'm all right now.
And Carol's dream... The toilet in your dream symbolises a release of emotions.